Happy Thanksgiving weekend, true believers. Welcome to another episode of One Shot, where we show you new stuff from the week and a little bit of old stuff, and we review those titles. I am your host, Jacob, and a lighter week this week, but I thought superb books. There may have been only 2 titles this week that I didn't fully enjoy, but showcasing a few art prints that I got in my Comic Tom mystery mail call this week. We have Mando from The Mandalorian, a cool print of Morbius and Spider-Man. And Gwenum, I guess you would call that. Gwen Stacy as Venom. But let's get right into it, shall we? Let's start with Batman Reptilian Book 6. I started enjoying the series. I thought the artwork was pretty good. The story was a little bit different, more detective work. But this being the final issue, it did not hit that Batman for me. It didn't feel like Batman. Batman would let people die as opposed to, trying to save everybody. He just didn't feel like Batman. He would forget people's names and things. I mean, it probably only happened one time, but anybody who's read Batman for any number of time knows his mind's a steel trap. He remembers everything. So that didn't feel like Batman. The story got kind of weird, where Killer Croc was going, he gave birth to some type of creature, and I don't know. Towards the end, it just wasn't enjoyable. It was just weird title. But it's over now, so don't have to really worry about it. Another title I didn't really enjoy that much, maybe because it's not written for my age range. Hawkeye Kate Bishop #1. The dialogue didn't seem to really flow that well. A lot of it was told in text format, like texting on the phone. The story was just kind of meh. I don't know. It didn't fulfill any of my criteria for a good story. If you liked it, that's fine, but I probably won't be picking up another copy. Eat the Rich #4. This series it started out really good, and then it just kind of tapered off. It was okay, but it was still pretty good. This one, it was still okay, but there were just elements in there that just felt a little forced, like they just came out of nowhere, and it's just like, okay, was that really necessary? But the series has been okay. I don't think it's going to be much longer before it's over, so I'll be sticking with it. But it was okay. It was good. Okay. Superman 78. This series, I know I say it every time, this one was the one that surprised me. I thought Batman was 89 was going to be the big one, but it turns out Superman 78 was the better story. And this is issue #4, where Superman is in the bottled city of Kandor with his family. Brainiac is leaving Earth. Superman gets a transmission from Lex Luthor and Lois Lane because Lex planted a transmitter on him. So Brainiac intercepted the transmission, realizes there may be some um, people on Earth that could um, do damage to Earth, so he's turning around, going back to Earth to capture the entire city of Metropolis and leave with it. This series has been amazing. I'm super happy with it. I used to watch the old Superman movies when I was a child with Christopher Reeve, and this reads like one of those movies. It's fantastic. Um, it's really not too over the top. The artwork is done as if it's one of those movies from the 70s, but super happy with Superman 78. Thor 19. I thought this issue was way better than the previous few issues. So Thor is kind of he's in a funk. Mjolnir's been stolen, and Sif, who is she controls the in and out to Asgard right now. I can't remember the guy's Heimdall. She's in Heimdall's position, and she cannot see where Mjolnir is. So Thor, who's not had the best relationship with Odin, seeks him out to kind of have him help him find Mjolnir. Turns out there was a prophecy that Mjolnir would be stolen and then used against Thor to kill him. But Thor, he says, "I'm not going to let this book dictate how I die." So he's on the search for Mjolnir. They go to the dwarves who made it, and they've just been massacred. And Odin's like, "Look at these wounds. You know what made these wounds. Mjolnir was used to murder all of the dwarves." And that's kind of where it ends off. This book, it's had its highs and lows, and I think we're getting into a new high point. It sounds like they might be getting ready to introduce a new villain. They talked about all of the the gods, the Titans and stuff. The Black Winter was one, Null was one, the Phoenix Force was one, and then there was another one they mentioned, but I don't recall. And they might be getting ready to introduce this new Titan to the mix. This story is getting ready to heat up, so be on the lookout for Thor. The death of Doctor Strange, number 3. So, Doctor Strange died. Then Doctor Strange shows up and is looking over his body. Turns out he kind of put a contingency in place where he took a whole week out of his lifespan in case something happened to him, to where he could come back and investigate his own murder or get rid of, finish some unfinished business. So Doctor Strange is investigating his own murder. And he's realizing he's from the way past before he was the Sorcerer Supreme. And he's trying to figure out who killed him, obviously. And he's on track to do so. I don't know how else to put it. But he's tracking down some articles of his that he's lost, and that's kind of where it ended. He's going to Mordo's castle to track down his cloak and other items. This series, I wasn't on board when it first released. I wound up getting a second print of it, and then I've been on board ever since. This has been an amazing story. I didn't think it would be. I thought it'd just be another gimmicky story. This one surprised me. The Death of Doctor Strange. The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 79. This is what I have been waiting for, people. Good writing on a Spider-Man book. They are finally getting back to what Spider-Man was for me. What was missing in some of these other ones was Spider-Man he's kind of an introvert, really. He's only really extroverted when he's in his costume, but when he has to go clear his head occasionally, so he just kind of swings around the city, and that's kind of what we've been missing. And he has that inner dialogue. This book has that. They're pulling back Spider-Man's personality. The other books were just kind of, he just shows up at places and fights, and then cut to another place, and he kind of just shows up there. There's no him swinging through the city and kind of just inner dialogue. But this book is what I've been waiting for. It has that. I'm so happy that Amazing Spider-Man is back. Robin, issue 8. This series has been really good as well. Robin, and I think the character's name is Hawk. They're going through their final fight. They're the last two that have to battle. And then Damian Wayne loses his second life, and he's only got one more left. Most people quit after 2. They don't want to lose their last one. But there's something coming out of one of the Lazarus pits, a god of some sort, or a demon, and that was the whole point of the tournaments. People had to die in order to kind of feed the pit, so that this demon could arise, and then it would take over the body of the winner. But Damian's not giving up. He's like, I want my last fight, but he doesn't exactly get it. The monster arises out of the pit and kind of finishes his last fight for him. And that's kind of where it cuts off. This series has been really good. I've been so happy I hopped on Robin. Gunslinger Spawn number 2, another really good title. Picks up where the last one left off, where Spawn's fighting some angels. He finishes that fight miraculously, and then the father of the boy that led him to where he's at is kind of he calls him a half-breed. He's one of the members of the group that he's looking for, that I think they killed his family, or his sister or something like that he's looking for. He's trying to get information, but doesn't always work out in the end for him. He's gonna have to go through other means to find out. But one of the funnier aspects of this is he was pulled through time. So the time period he was from, they don't have indoor plumbing. So there was a whole scene in there of him freaking out about the toilet being inside, and he's just kind of mesmerized by the thing. It was pretty funny. But this title's been really good as well, Gunslinger. And last but not least, Hulk number 1. I guess this picks up where Immortal Hulk left off. Hulk is upgraded. He's got these like mechanical upgrades, and this title poses a question, and I think it's at the bottom here. It says, what if the Hulk exists to protect us from Banner? So I think we're gonna get a kind of mad scientist storyline from this. It sounds really interesting. The Bruce Banner is kind of using Hulk like a starship, is what they compared it to. So he's in control. Banner is in control of the Hulk. Has the Hulk's personality locked up in a prison in his mind palace, they call it. But he keeps the Hulk angry so he can stay in Hulk form and get stronger and whatnot, but still be in control. And the Hulk is he might be able to get out of this. I have a feeling, and try to stop Banner from executing this plan that he has. This series is going to pop off. Donny Cates always knows how to start a series off. Whether he knows how to finish it or not, that's debatable. But highly recommend, if you like the Hulk, want to hear kind of a different take on that, definitely pick up the new one. And now I'm just going to show a few older back issues that I picked up from my collection. I picked up The Amazing Spider-Man issue 213. These are just to fill a few gaps in my main collection here. And then Amazing Spider-Man 307, some McFarlane cover goodness. You got the Chameleon on there, I believe. Yes, the Chameleon with Spider-Man colors on. And then I picked these up today. Today, it being Black Friday, my local comic shop had some Black Friday deals, so I went through and picked up a few things. I got Fantastic Four 21. This is the first appearance of Marvel Zombies in a comic book. Not only did I get one copy of that, but I got 2 copies of that. Pretty decent priced. I did get something else today, but I'm saving that for the last bit. So in the mail, I picked up the Sensational Spider-Man issue number 1. I do have another copy of this that is a variant, and it is graded. It's graded at a 9.8, which is fantastic. And I'll go into more detail about that here in a minute. And then from Comic Tom's Mystery Mail Call, in case y'all are curious about what kind of stuff comes in that, I did pick up a Fantastic Four 311 from that. It's got the Black Panther in it. I got All-Star Batman issue number 2. And some of their exclusives that they gave out. Soul Stream, done in the old, children's book styles. House of Slaughter number 1. This is the trade dress, not the Virgin variant. And Venom number 1. So now I think I have 3 copies of Venom number 1. And then what did I pick up today? This was the bigger purchase of the day. The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 408. This is graded at a 9.6. I think you can see that. This is kind of like the variant I was talking about with my Sensational Spider-Man number 1. These are connecting variants, so there's a spider motif in the back, and they all connect to make one giant spider motif. There's four comics. They were Camelot Comics exclusives. There's only 1,000 covers of each, and they came with audio cassettes. This one came with a Ramones audio cassette, but I had gotten the one out of a dollar bin and had it graded at a 9.8, and that's one of the more expensive ones. And then I found 2 copies of another one, which I'm going to take in to have graded. And then my comic shop had this one on the wall today with the Black Friday discount. Could not resist it. When I looked these up on eBay, they're all still polybagged with the cassette tape, and they want a few $100s for them. I was able to get this one. It's not a 9.8, but that's alright. It's close enough for me, and I absolutely love it. Well, that is all I have for you today. If you could, down below, leave me a like, leave me a comment. Tell me what you're reading. Do you agree with my reviews on some of these comics? If not, that's alright. We can have a discussion about it. But thanks for stopping by. Join us next week for another, I guess, to me, fantastic episode of One Shot. And as always, have a good day.